There are a number of guitars on the market nowadays at an attractive price point that deliver good sound, good playability, good electronics, but without binding trim. And there's a mistaken notion that that makes the guitar more durable, like this high pressure laminate back and sides Martin that's owned by a local singer-songwriter and impresario, Michelle Gaw. It took a hit here. I think Michelle's cat may have knocked this guitar over, but it took a hit right here, which compressed the laminate side, and then when the side sprung back out, it just blew out the piece of the top. So just a note for those of you that have guitars without side binding, those guitars need to be treated with a little extra care because this type of stuff happens all too frequently. Okay, so I've got the glue in the seam here. You can see some of the squeeze out. You can see it goes all the way over to here. So I make my own clamps in the shop. You can buy these spool clamps, but I always find if you can a lot of times making your own gives you exactly what you want with less compromise. So like for example, commercial spool clamps use wing nuts, just small steel wing nuts to tighten the clamps down. They're a pain to deal with, so I built these with the nice spinner knobs and just alternate the clamps so that there's room for them. So all right, and the last clamp goes right here. And I had an old rock maple cutting board, which I used as the raw material for these spools. And everything is clamped. And we'll go work on something else while the glue dries. Gluing this little piece on is actually a fairly complex process, and here's why. The top of this guitar is domed. All the underlying braces have a 28-foot radius. So that means when this thing broke off, the dome of the top wants to sink in right here. So if I just pop this back on and clamp it, what I'm going to end up with is a dip right here where it's trying to attach to the side of the guitar. So there are some tools that, like when you look at it, advertise, you're going, that's stupid expensive, until you have a use for it. So I have this cool jack that I use inside guitars to hold things in position when I'm clamping and that, which I've installed here to lift up this top so that it'll be in alignment when I glue this piece of top back to where it came from. And I'll put a piece of tape here to keep it from gluing to the side, because we don't want to go there yet. We want to get this glued on back next. So let's get to that right now. Glue dried overnight, and the top is now reattached from here to here. And we also glued the broken piece of top back to the main part of the top. I supported it with that scissor jack underneath so that I could get a level gluing surface to make sure that the broken piece was also even with the main part of the top as it glued, and it's turned out great. As you can see, it's nice and level. This is a rare earth magnet that's attached to the magnet that's embedded in the top of my scissor jack. I'm able to move the scissor jack inside the guitar and see where it's going because of the movement of the jack. The reason I've still got the scissor jack in there is the top is still split from here all the way over to here. So what I'm going to do now is tighten the scissor jack, and you should see, you might even be able to see some light there because I have a light on the inside. I'm very carefully raising the top with the scissor jack. Now I've got a gap here that will let me get glue into the broken seam, and once I get the glue in, I'll release the scissor jack, reach inside the guitar to push the part of the side that's caved in thanks to this hit out even with the edge of the top, clamp it, glue it, and we'll be in the home stretch after that.
Dad?
Hi, delivering Michelle's guitar in the time of face masks and being outside in safe zones. Anyway, it's all ready to go, and hopefully we'll see this on a live streaming concert, or even better, live in person sometime this summer.
Yes, thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Michelle.
Jim does the best work. He's glued this bad baby back together.
Crack be gone.
It's like nothing even happened, Jim.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Here, let's just do this.
Bye. Awesome.
Thanks, man.